Hello dear students, I welcome you for this next lecture of the subject cell biology. Today we are going to start with the chapter number 5, that is endomembrane system. So I, Assistant Professor Amol Handore, welcome you for this lecture on endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, before starting with today's lecture, let's take a brief recap of the previous lecture. In the previous lecture, we have studied the different types of the stain, in which we have studied acidic stains, basic stains, neutral stains. Today, we are going to deal with the study objective for today's lecture will be to study the endomembrane system. In that, we will study the first organelle, that is endoplasmic reticulum. So we will study the structure of endoplasmic reticulum, location of the ER and functions of the ER. Yes, so this endomembrane system, it is a very important system in the eukaryotic cell, which is responsible for some synthesis of certain macromolecules and their transfer to different parts of the cell as well as other cells in the body. This endomembrane system comprises of three organelles, that is endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex and lysosomes. Okay, so these three organelles, they constitute what is called as endomembrane system. Today we are going to discuss the first organelle of this endomembrane system, that is called as endoplasmic reticulum. So if you see this ER or endoplasmic reticulum is located alongside the nucleus. So if we take the TS of the nucleus, you could see the endoplasmic reticulum is attached to the outer wall of the nucleus. So this entire portion here you could see is nothing but the endoplasmic reticulum. Now let us introduce with these organelle. So first of all, we'll understand why it is called as endoplasmic reticulum. So endoplasmic means within the cytoplasm. Okay, endo means inside, plasmic means cytoplasm. So this is present within the cytoplasm of the cell, and reticulum in Latin means net-like structure. Okay, so this organelle is present in the cytoplasm and it is a little net-like structure. That's why it is referred to as endoplasmic reticulum. Now this ER or endoplasmic reticulum is found in all the eukaryotic cells. However, it is absent in the erythrocytes, which we call as red blood corpuscles, and it is also absent in the prokaryotes, that is the bacterial cell. Now if we see their structure, they are membrane bound channel like structure, and they are present in the form of network of delicate strands and vesicles in the cytoplasm. This organelle was first observed in the year 1945. So sac-like membranous organelle was seen in the cytoplasm of the cheek embryo cells. That was later on called as endoplasmic reticulum. So let us take a history of this discovery of this endoplasmic reticulum. So this ER was first observed by Garnier, scientist Garnier. However, the detailed ultrastructure of these organelle was given by Porter, Claude and Fulham. The name endoplasmic reticulum was coined by Porter. Later on, we know that earlier there were only simple microscope, but once the discovery of the electron microscope took place, we could have the detailed structure of the endoplasmic reticulum. So in the year 1953, Porter developed electron microscopy technique that allowed us to observe this net-like structure in the cytoplasm, and then which we call it as endoplasmic reticulum. Yes, hence it is called ER or endoplasmic reticulum. Henceforth, we will call this endoplasmic reticulum as ER, which is the short form for this term. Okay, so ER was observed by the Garnier. So in this picture, we could see the scientist who did the contribution for the discovery of this uh, endoplasmic reticulum or ER. Now let us understand where this ER is located and what is the amount of the ER present in the cell. So the location. First of all, it is present in all eukaryotic cells. So in first chapter, we have studied the different types of eukaryotic cell like plant cell, animal cell, fungi cell. All of them have the ER present in the cell. However, these are absent in the mature erythrocytes, ovum, embryonic cell, and the prokaryotic or the bacterial cells. The ER often occupies most of the cytoplasm because it is a net-like structure, so it is present throughout the cytoplasm. What is the amount? The amount of the ER varies from cell to cell. For example, in spermatocytes, it is represented in the form of few vacuoles only. In the cells of the adipose tissue, it is present in the form of few tubule-like structures. Now, the basic function of the endoplasmic reticulum is to synthesize proteins and lipids. Okay, so these cells, they actively synthesize proteins such as the liver and pancreatic cell. In fibroblasts, you have the presence of the ER in a large number or large quantity. Now let us come to the occurrence. So it varies from cell to cell. Like in the RBCs, spermatocytes, they have poorly developed, and we have already discussed that it is present in large quantities in some cells where the production of the proteins takes place. So all the organs which are actively engaged in the synthesis of proteins like pancreas or other endocrine glands, they have the presence of the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, we will understand there are two types of ER, that is rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth ER, in the next slide. Origin of the endoplasmic reticulum. The ER is said to be developed from the outer nuclear envelope. Okay, so nucleus has two layers around itself, the inner layer, or that is called inner nuclear membrane, and the outer nuclear membrane. So from this outer nuclear membrane, the endoplasmic reticulum. So the first type of the ER which you will see near to the nucleus is rough in appearance. Why it is rough? Because ribosomes are present on the surface of the ER. That's why it appears rough in appearance. That ER is called as a rough endoplasmic reticulum. Whereas the endoplasmic reticulum which arises from this rough ER is called as smooth ER. We will understand it better in the next section. Yes, location we have already discussed that it is present near to the nucleus and it is present all throughout the cytoplasm in the form of a network. Now this endoplasmic reticulum is made up of three structures, that is cisternae, vesicles and tubules. Rough ER is always present near the nucleus. Why it is rough? Because ribosomes are attached on the surface and it gives the rough appearance. Now if we see the membrane of the endoplasmic reticulum, it is thinner as compared to that of the plasma membrane. So thickness of the plasma membrane is 80 to 100 angstrom, whereas that of the endoplasmic reticulum is 50 angstrom. Okay, in this picture, we could see, so this is a cross section of the nucleus, in which you can see the nucleus has a nuclear envelope. This is the inner layer and the outer layer. And in between these two layers, there are some channel-like structures which are formed by the pores. So on the nucleus, there are many such pores which are called as nuclear pores. So through these nuclear pores, there is a network like structures which can be seen attached to the nucleus. This is called as a endoplasmic reticulum. Now, the endoplasmic reticulum, which is near to the nucleus, has these yellow structures you could see. These are nothing but ribosomes. So, when the ribosomes are attached to the ER, it appears rough in the appearance. That kind of a ER is called as a rough ER. As you go away from the nucleus, you will have second type of the ER, which is smooth in the appearance. Why it is smooth? Because ribosomes are absent on this ER. So if ribosomes are absent, it will obviously appear smooth, and that is called as a smooth ER. Yes, so summarize, endoplasmic reticulum is nothing but it is a extensive network of the folded membrane which is present throughout the cytoplasm, and it is attached at one end to the nuclear envelope. Now this ER is of two types as we have discussed, that is rough ER and smooth ER. What is the difference? Have you understood that rough ER means, when it is called rough ER, when the ribosomes are attached on the surface, it is called as a rough ER. When ribosomes are absent, it is called as smooth ER. Now in this picture, it is a electron micrograph, that is means it is taken from the electron microscope. You could see the center circular or area is called as a nucleus, and to this you will find the network like structure which is called as a endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, now let us understand the structure of the endoplasmic reticulum. So if we see the three-dimensional structure of the ER, it is made up of three elements. These three elements are cisternae, second one is tubules, and third one is known as vesicles. Okay, so remember that ER or endoplasmic reticulum is made up of three elements, that is cisternae, tubules, and vesicles. Now let us understand the structure of each one. The first we'll see the cisternae. Now the cisternae means flattened, unbranched, sac-like structures. Their diameter is between 20 to 500 micrometer. They are present in stack-like structure, that means stack-like structures which are organized parallel to one another. And on these cisternae you will find small circular structures which are nothing but the ribosomes present on the surface. Therefore this ER appears rough and we call it as rough ER. Okay, in this picture you could see the structure of cisternae, which are flattened sac-like structures, and on their surface ribosomes are present, which make it the rough endoplasmic reticulum. The second type of the structures which are present in the ER are called as vesicles. So vesicles means oval kind of structures, and these are also having the ribosomes present on the surface. type are the tubules. Let us understand the second type in detail. So the tubules. So we have seen in this picture, these are the tubules. So these tubules, they are irregular in structure. We have seen that cisternae, they are regular in structure, there is no branching, but here tubules are irregular in structure, they show branching and they form a network in the cytoplasm. If we see their diameter, it is very less, 40 to 50 micron thickness, and they are arranged also in the parallel stack-like structure. They are often free of the ribosomes. That means tubules, mostly they do not have ribosome on their surface. That's why they will appear smooth in the appearance, called as smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The third type, that is vesicles. So vesicles are rounded structures, rounded or oval structures which are vary in the diameter from 20 to 500 micrometer. These are also sometimes free of ribosomes, which give rise to the smooth ER. Now all these three elements, that is vesicles, tubules and the cisternae, they are in contact with each other, so they will communicate with one another, and all of them contain a fluid that is called as a endoplasmic matrix. Okay, so the inside of the endoplasmic reticulum is hollow, and in that hollow space you will have a liquid that is called as an endoplasmic matrix. So in this picture we will see uh, okay. So in this picture we can see inside it is hollow, which is that space is called as a lumen, and in that lumen you have the liquid part that is called as endoplasmic matrix. Okay, so now let us understand the difference between two types of the ER, that is rough ER and smooth ER. So when to call endoplasmic reticulum as rough? When ribosomes are present on the outer surface. When the ribosomes are absent on the outer surface, it is called as a smooth ER. Now this rough ER, the function is different. Rough ER is the site of protein synthesis because ribosomes are present, whereas smooth ER function is, it is involved in the lipid synthesis, okay, or lipid metabolism. Okay, so you have to remember the difference, that rough ER is involved in protein synthesis, whereas smooth ER is involved in the lipid synthesis. In this picture, we could see the smooth ER and rough ER. So on the rough ER, you have the presence of ribosomes on the surface, whereas on smooth ER, ribosomes are absent on the surface. This is another electron micrograph where you could see these brown are the ribosomes present on the endoplasmic reticulum. Sometimes these ribosomes are attached to the ER. These are called as bound ribosomes. Some ribosomes are freely present in the cytoplasm. These are called as a free ribosomes. Now let us understand the structure of the rough endoplasmic reticulum in detail. So as we have discussed that this rough ER means that endoplasmic reticulum which has the presence of the ribosomes, and this rough ER is made up of cisternae. So we have seen that cisternae is nothing but a long flattened sac-like structures. So these cisternae elements, they make up mostly the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Yes, so the surface of rough ER is always studded with ribosomes. That means ribosomes are present and which give it the rough appearance. Mainly consist of cisternae, membrane of the rough endoplasmic reticulum is a double membrane structure. Okay, so similar to your plasma membrane, it is also the double membrane structure. Now, where is rough ER situated? It is located near the outer nuclear envelope. Okay, so rough ER is always situated near the nucleus and it is attached to the nuclear envelope. What is the function? Rough ER is always important in the synthesis and packaging of the proteins. We know that protein synthesis takes place on the ribosomes, using the ribosomes. And since these ribosomes are present on the rough ER, you have the synthesis and packaging of proteins taking place in the rough ER. However, these ribosomes which are present on the rough ER, they are not stable. Sometimes you could find them onto the surface, and even you find some of the ribosomes in the cytoplasm. So they are constantly being bound and released from the membrane. Now the ribosomes that become attached to the ER synthesize all the type of proteins like transmembrane proteins. Most of the proteins that are secreted, they are further stored in the Golgi apparatus, then lysosomes and endosomes. Okay, so proteins are synthesized in the rough ER and then they are transported to the Golgi complex or Golgi apparatus. Further from the Golgi, they will come to the lysosomes. On this, in this picture, you could clearly see how this rough ER is attached to the nucleus. Now we come to the second type of the ER, that is smooth ER. Why it is called smooth? Because ribosomes are absent on the surface of this type of the ER. And this smooth ER is made up of two elements, that is tubules and vesicles. The size and structure of this smooth ER varies between the different type of cell. The smooth ER can change within the cell's lifetime to allow the cell to adapt to the changes in its function and requirement. Okay, so this smooth ER it can change over the period of the cell's life, and accordingly it will function. We know that there are no ribosomes attached. Smooth ER is connected with the rough ER and it is involved in the lipid biosynthesis. So if there is a question, what is the function of the smooth ER? They do the synthesis of lipids. So many of the important enzymes which are required in the cell, they are synthesized on the surface of this or inside the smooth ER. Okay. Along with this lipid synthesis, we have different types of the lipids like cholesterol. Then that type of the lipids, they are also synthesized in the smooth ER. Then steroid hormone synthesis also takes place. Detoxification of the some endogenous or exogenous substances, that also activity also takes place in the smooth ER. And there are certain enzymes which are responsible for the detoxification, like microsomal cytochrome P450 monooxygenase. They are present in the, or they are synthesized in the smooth ER for the detoxification activity. Yes, so endoplasmic reticulum along with Golgi apparatus is involved in the synthesis of other organelles also, like lysosome and peroxisomes. Okay, so remember, lysosomes and peroxisomes, they are developed from the ER and Golgi apparatus. Similarly, elongation of fatty acids, desaturation of fatty acids, omega oxidation of the fatty acids, these are the functions. So let us see how this endomembrane system works. So you have this nucleus to which rough ER is attached. From this rough ER arises the smooth ER. So whatever proteins and lipids which are synthesized in the rough and smooth ER respectively, they will travel in the form of small vesicle-like structures, and these vesicles will carry these proteins and lipids. They will go to the Golgi complex. Now this Golgi complex is the receiving center where the further packaging of the lipids and proteins will take place. Okay, so you have to remember that where are the proteins synthesized in the rough ER, where are lipids synthesized in the smooth ER. They are packaged into small rounded structures which are called as vesicles. These rounded vesicles, they will carry these proteins and lipids into the Golgi complex. In the Golgi complex, the further processing on these proteins and lipids will take place, and then they will finally again packed into the vesicles, and these vesicles will carry them outside the plasma membrane and it will go to the other cells. This entire network is called as endomembrane system. Okay, now we come to the functions of the endoplasmic reticulum. The first very important function of the ER is mechanical support. We know that ER forms the network in the cytoplasm, right? And while doing so, it divides the cell content or this fluid into different compartments, right? And due to that, the cell gets the additional mechanical support, okay? Because there is a network of these ER which is present throughout the cell that gives the support to the cell. Also, these compartments which are developed, they will carry out they act as ionic gradients, and transfer of the electric potential will also take place on the endoplasmic reticulum membrane. The second function is cellular metabolism. So what is meant by the cellular metabolism? Because we know that various molecules which are required for the cell, they are synthesized in the endoplasmic reticulum. This includes proteins, lipids, cholesterol, other triglyceride kind of lipids. All these are synthesized in the ER. Okay, so this is the synthetic activity of the ER. Other functions include, yes, protein synthesis. We have discussed already that it takes place on the surface of the rough ER, which is made up of basically cisternae. Then intracellular transport. We have already discussed that the protein synthesis takes place on the inside the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Then they will undergo further processing and they will then transported to the Golgi complex. Then next function is intracellular transport. So this ER is also associated with the intracellular transport. So this transport includes that of the enzymes, lipids, proteins which are synthesized in the ER. They will be transported to the different parts of the cell. Next important function of the ER is detoxification. The smooth ER is basically involved in the process of detoxification. So sometimes if any toxin is which is poisonous to the body, if it is consumed by a person or any organism, then these smooth ER will start detoxification process. So that poison or toxin will be broken down with the help of the enzymes which are present in the smooth ER. That activity is called as detoxification activity. Next function is membrane flow. That means transport of the ions, molecules or particles into and out of the cell. So many molecules like proteins, lipids, they are synthesized. Even some molecules which are synthesized in the nucleus, they will be transported from the nucleus to the nuclear membrane. Through the pores which are present on the nucleus, they will come out. They will come to the endoplasmic reticulum. From endoplasmic reticulum, some molecules like proteins and lipids are synthesized. They will be transported to the Golgi complex. In Golgi complex, the further processing on these proteins, lipids will take place, and the final product will be transported outside the plasma membrane of the cell. Then it will go outside the cell and to the adjacent cells. Yes, so the very important function of the ER is protein transport. So with this picture, we will understand this. So inside the lumen of endoplasmic reticulum, that is the internal part of the endoplasmic reticulum, you have the ribosomes which are attached to the surface, outer surface of the ER, and these ribosomes, they are involved in the synthesis of proteins. Proteins are first formed in the structure that is called as polypeptide. What is polypeptide? Polypeptide means long chain of the amino acids. Now, these long chain of the amino acids will undergo further processing. So sometimes it is attached with the sugar chain. So when a glucose chain is attached to the protein, it is called as glycoprotein. Then these glycoproteins, they will bud off. That means the endoplasmic reticulum will form a oval structure that is called as vesicle. So from this endoplasmic reticulum, it will come in these rounded vesicles and they will carry it to the Golgi complex for further processing. Okay, so this is called as a transport of proteins. Sometimes endoplasmic reticulum also act as a ionic gradient. This ionic gradient, they play a very important role in the muscle contraction process. Okay, so what happens? Now inside the muscles, the calcium ions are required or which take part in the contraction or relaxation of the muscles. Now the endoplasmic reticulum of the muscle cells is called as sarcoplasmic reticulum. Now in these muscle cells, calcium ions are present, and the concentration of the calcium ions is responsible for carrying the nerve impulses which are coming to the muscles. So these calcium ions, they are basically which are stored in the sarcoplasmic reticulum, that means endoplasmic reticulum of the muscle. It is its concentration basically is maintained, and if there is any stimulus like nerve impulse, hormone or any other means, the calcium ions are released from the endoplasmic reticulum and which causes the muscular contraction. Next function of the ER is formation of plasmodesmata. So first of all, we should understand what is plasmodesmata. These plasmodesmata are present only in the plant cells, which are like the connections between the adjacent cells. Okay, so these uh, connections play a very important role in the plant cells, and these connections are formed with the help of endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. Next function is formation of the secondary wall. Now we know that the plant cell wall is made up of the two layers, that is primary cell wall and secondary cell wall. So this secondary cell wall, the layer is formed in the plants with the help of certain enzymes, and different metabolites, and these different enzymes and metabolites, they are carried to this region by the help of endoplasmic reticulum. So in this way, the endoplasmic reticulum plays an important role in the formation of secondary wall in the plant cell wall. Okay. Next function of the ER is origin of cell organelles. Now there are evidences which suggest that endoplasmic reticulum uh, develops certain organelles. That means it produces organelles like lysosomes. Okay, so lysosomes are developed from the endoplasmic reticulum. The next function is amphibian development. So there are certain evidences which suggest that endoplasmic reticulum also contribute to the development of amphibian embryo. Okay, so during the embryonic development, ER plays an important role. Next function is cell differentiation. So ER is also responsible in the process of cell differentiation, and it coordinates the differentiation process. Next function of the ER is glycogen synthesis and storage. So what is glycogen? Glycogen is a type of carbohydrate. Glycogen is basically made up of thousands of the glucose units linked to one another. So this formation of the glycogen by combining many glucose molecules together is result into the glycogen synthesis. So this synthesis of the glycogen with the help of enzyme glucose 6-phosphatase has been observed in the eukaryotic organisms. Also, endoplasmic reticulum will store this glycogen inside it. Okay, so glycogen synthesis and storage is one of the important function in the animal cell. Next function is synthesis of cholesterol and steroid hormones. Now, whatever steroid hormones present in the eukaryotic organisms, they are basically made up from the cholesterol. Okay, so cholesterol is an important precursor of steroid hormones, and these cholesterol molecules, they are synthesized in the smooth ER. Okay, so cholesterol is synthesized in the smooth ER, and we know that these steroid hormones are basically developed by the testes, ovary, and adrenal cortex. And in these organs, that is ovaries, testes, you have the production of these steroid hormones with the help of smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so that is the role of the smooth endoplasmic reticulum in synthesis of cholesterol, and from this cholesterol steroid hormones are developed. The last function is formation of microbodies. So the microbodies examples are lysosomes, glyoxysomes, and peroxisomes. Now these are rounded structures, oval structures, which are present in the eukaryotic cell, and they have different functions. So we have already discussed what are lysosomes. They are also called as the suicidal bags. These microbodies, that is lysosomes, they play a very important role in that they will take up the unwanted materials in the cell inside them, and they will carry out the breakdown of those materials. So all these important microbodies like lysosomes, peroxisomes are produced by the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so this is all about the endoplasmic reticulum. So in today's lecture, we have understood the structure, location, functions of the endoplasmic reticulum. So always the endoplasmic reticulum near to the nucleus has ribosomes called as a rough ER, and the endoplasmic reticulum away from the nucleus does not have ribosomes is called as smooth ER. Rough ER is involved in the synthesis of proteins, and smooth ER is involved in the synthesis of lipids. And then we have understood the different functions which are carried out by the endoplasmic reticulum, that includes mechanical support, cellular metabolism, protein synthesis, intracellular transport, detoxification, membrane flow, ionic gradient, formation of the plasmodesmata, formation of secondary wall in the plant cell, glycogen synthesis and storage, lipid synthesis and storage, synthesis of the cholesterol and steroid hormones, formation of the microbodies like lysosomes, peroxisomes, then origin of the cell organelles like lysosomes, amphibian development, it also plays a role, and finally in the process of cell differentiation. So with this, we conclude today's lecture on endoplasmic reticulum. Thank you.